通信ケーブルでモンスター取り替えっこ。スーパーゲームボーイならカラーで綺麗。
ポケットモンスターハートゴールドソウルシルバー。ポケットモンスターエメラルドプラチナブラック X サン。
Hello. We all know Pokémon, the light-hearted kids game where you can somehow mash one button and end up in the Hall of Fame. Well, forget that. This game wants to make you suffer, spending months of your life going run after run trying to make a stupid little video for the stupid little people behind the screen. Now, if you've never heard of this small game named Pokémon, I'll quickly go over what we'll be doing. A Pokémon Nuzlocke is a rule set put upon playthroughs of the game to make it much harder. Causing a Pokémon to die forever when they faint, you can only catch one Pokémon per route, and whenever your entire party dies, you lose. Now put those rules into the hardest Pokémon game ever made, where there are 8 gym battles, 18 Team Rocket boss fights, and about 1,000 mini-bosses, you're not going to have a good time. Oh, and did I forget to mention, every single one of my Pokémon is randomized. As you've seen, our starter is a Mewtwo, with the ability Simple. I know it's pretty overpowered, but let me explain why it's kinda not. Simple is an ability which doubles all stat changes in a battle. It's pretty overpowered, but right now it's kinda just dead weight. Mewtwo doesn't get any setup moves until extremely late in the game. So for now, we're just gonna have to get there. The fellas we catch across the following routes are pretty mediocre. So from here on out, I probably won't be pointing out everything I catch. We then make our way through Viridian Forest, demolish our first rival fight, pick up a Skarmory named Berg, Gooper the Hisuian Goodra, and Ack the Cinderace. We then easily beat Faulkner. Now onto Brock. Rocking 2 fellas with Sturdy, an Archon, and our main worry, the Varoom. Mainly cause we can't hit it. So here, I'll quickly explain the plan. Leading Cinderace, I almost instantly regret everything as Double Kick doesn't kill. Thankfully, even with the speed drop, Sucker Punch finishes off the Geodude. Varoom is then sent out. Cinderace would die here, so I send out Skarmory, our main Varoom counter. Actually, he's our everything counter. They just don't do much damage. Finishing Brock's gym with 0 losses. Moving on to the following routes, we catch a cool item with Sage Power, Togekiss, and get 2 Drifbloom from this guy. Now, minus the gym leaders, the biggest threats in this game are the Team Rocket boss fights. Some of these later on are just unfair, and I've lost many, if not most of my runs to these guys. Our first encounter with these grunts is right here, starting with Archer. Not too hard, just yet, 0 deaths. But in Radical Red, deathless runs don't last. In comes our second gym leader, Misty. Misty is a huge step up from Brock. The Eviolite Frogadier, the Technician Flip Term Floatzel, the extremely fast Starmie, and this piece of shit. He's not even a water type. Leading dog Aljolteon, I hoped to outspeed and do a decent bit of damage, but he's here. Now, expecting the bulldoze, I switch into the flying type Togekiss. Oh, so we're cheating now. After that unfortunate read, the battle turns into a slugfest. Switching in Skarmory, Goodra, Mewtwo, doing some damage while Misty recovers, sending out Skarmory again against the half-health Starmie. In a position to wipe my entire team when not 1, not 2, but 3 paralysis turns gives our Gym 1 hero Skarmory a chance to whittle it down. But unfortunately, this is the end of the line for our poor hero. After carrying us through the first 2 gyms, Berg falls, not without clearing a path to our victory. Second gym complete. Next up is Nugget Bridge. No one cares about Nugget Bridge. So instead, I'll talk about the Kommo-o I caught on the route. If you know nothing about Radical Red, you might not understand why I'm so excited about this Kommo-o. Kommo-o single-handedly takes out 2 of the Elite 4 members. It's an extremely overpowered move in Clangorous Soul, and this one has Moxie. Not yet, but soon. Now in Vermilion City, I catch a Thievul, Drilbur, Empoleon, and Florges before speeding my way through the SS Anne. It is now time for our 3rd gym badge. Surge obviously has these electric types. The Pincursion to set the electric terrain, a Levitating Bug, a Pawmot with insane coverage, and a double Intimidate Mega Manectric. But even all that isn't our main issue. That is the Belly Bolt.
the extremely bulky mon that can both attack and heal in the same turn using the electric terrain. Thankfully though, we were blessed with an extra drill just before. Also, I'm gonna green screen.
Starting off with our Quark Drive Mienshao, using its terrain against it boosts our attack, allowing us to do great damage before being paralysed. Switching into the extra drill to finish it off, then the Gudra to counter the Belly Bolt. The Manectric is sent out, but things are pretty simple from here. Mewtwo the Pawmot, extra drill the Belly Bolt, and finally Kommo-o takes out the Vikavolt. A slopless run, you could say. Making our way through the next route, we arrive in Lavender Town. This is where our strategy needs to change. No more going forward without a plan.
With the few broken mons we have in our party, we could actually win this thing. Everything else can just be fodder. I'm saying all of this now as the game makes a massive jump in difficulty. All the Pokemon are pretty much fully evolved, as well as gym leaders needing actual strategy to beat them.
As Erika's team is composed of an extremely bulky core of Rillaboom to set grassy terrain, Mega Venusaur with thick fat, and Meganium with triage, not forgetting the Meowscarada and Hisuian Electrode, it's going to be very hard to sweep this team. Luckily, we have a pretty good counter in Bampt, the Crobat we picked up on Route 16. Leading our Crobat against the Rillaboom, we get an easy kill as Meowscarada is sent out. Switching in Cinderace, we then take the triple axle, hitting with a Power Ball and finishing off with a Sucker Punch. Now, for the Electrode. This is bad. Really bad. Chloroblast does an insane amount of damage, and Thunderbolt takes out any of my flying types. I don't want to send in any of our heavy hitters just in case they die, so at the moment I only saw one way to save the run. Sending in Excadrill, I don't plan to do any damage, but Chloroblast does have a recoil. One-shotting the Excadrill, but killing itself in return. Two fellas down that really didn't need to. Sending out the Crobat as Erika sends out the Venusaur, taking a risk we use a dual Wing Beat to deal half its health, and dodge a Sleep Powder, allowing us to defeat the Mega, leaving only the Meganium, which is taken down in one shot by a quad-effective Poison Fang.
Fourth gym down, with total deaths at 3. For now, because we're now heading into the section where I lose most of my runs. The Team Rocket Saga. Starting off with probably the most annoying fight in the entire game, as if you don't have a Fake Out Mon, you're going into a sleepy hell. Lucky for us, we have a Fake Out Mienshao.
Now moving down to the hideout, this place is known for 3 main fights. The 2 guards, and the first of many Giovanni boss fights. The first uses the leads of Talonflame and Shiftry, starting with an almost impossible Tailwind plus Wind Rider attack boost. Unless you have Fake Out. Leading Cinderace and Mienshao, I Fake Out the Talonflame, stopping the Tailwind and killing the Shiftry before it can attack. And now, the fight is basically over. Once you remove the main gimmick of these teams, they pretty much fall apart. Now, for the second guard. This one uses a Slacking Wheezing lead, allowing Slacking to actually use its legendary stats. Once again, leading Cinderace and Mienshao, Fake Outing the Slacking and attacking it with Cinderace, dealing about half its health. Then finishing it off with a double kick and U-turn the next turn. And once again, after the gimmick is finished, these teams fall apart, allowing me to defeat the rest of the team with 0 deaths.
Now for the main boss, Giovanni. His team starts with a Sheer Force Life Orb Nidoking, which can pretty much one-shot anything. A Super Luck Scope Lens Honchkrow, which critical hits every single one of its moves. A Focus Sash Infernape with Swords Dance, Parental Bond Mega Kangaskhan, the Shed Tail Orthworm, and Fillet Away Veluza.
Starting off, it's basically impossible to lead anything against this team if it can't one-shot the Nidoking, meaning my only real option is the Hisuian Samurott with a Mystic Water. The Veluza is then sent out, which is again taken out by BBH, our Samurott, but now the Kangaskhan is here. Now, thinking that Mienshao was my answer, I send it out to its swift demise. The Mega Kangaskhan will be able to two-shot my entire team. Sending out Kommo-o, I hope to outspeed and finish off the Mega, but they survive on 1. Getting the 50% chance to paralyze, the 30% chance to fully paralyze, and now our plan is foiled. Sending out Gudra, I tank the hit, get paralyzed, try to attack, get paralyzed, try to attack, live on 5, and then get paralyzed and die. He's oh. I send out the Mewtwo, outspeed it and kill it. The Orthworm is sent out. Mewtwo can do nothing to the Metal Worm. I switch into Cinderace's Orthworm Shed Tails into Infernape, giving it a free Swords Dance. Cinderace dies. Mewtwo is then sent out, outspeeding it and killing it. The Honchkrow then comes out. BBH comes in, gets in some chip damage, then dies. Mewtwo then comes in, outspeeds and kills. And finally, the Mewtwo finishes off the Orthworm, ending the battle with a victory.
Sadly, this battle increases our total deaths to 7. It's not a good look, but we never wipe.
Climbing the Pokemon Tower, defeating the Alolan Marowak by putting it to sleep and hitting it with a Hex, one-shotting it with a critical hit, beating the Team Rocket grunts and freeing an old man and obtaining the Pokeflute. Continuing the Team Rocket saga, we enter Silphco, in my opinion one of the hardest areas this entire game, with 3 extremely difficult fights, starting with a couple annoying puzzles and a rival fight. I easily take out the Staraptor and King Gambit, then the Charizard comes out.
Now to explain something that I've completely forgotten until now, it's that the position of our starter actually matters. Now, let's just say you pick the Bulbasaur slot, and your rival chooses the Charizard slot, and you've completely forgotten about that. So, now you can see that I panic look at the docks and realize that I'm fucked.
The best route I could see was send in the Florigist, sack it so Dog could come in and kill. From here, we take out the remaining Pokemon and end the fight. Either way, one loss isn't that bad. As long as we win, it's fine, right? Next, the double battle against Ariana and Archer. This one is particularly hard, as instead of using all 6 of our Pokemon, we have to share it with our favourite rival, Brendan. We begin this fight with our leads of Empoleon and Masquerain, against the Incineroar and Gothitelle. This is an extremely hard lead, as Fake Out is practically impossible to avoid. Surf takes out both of the opponents, allowing Mawile and Gholdengo to hit the field. Now, here's a chance to kill the Mawile before it can move, but sadly, in this game, Plan A never works. Empoleon goes down, bringing out the Sevido trio to take out the Gholdengo as the Masquerain takes out the Mawile. Now, only the Primarina and Mega Houndoom are left. The Do trio easily takes out the Houndoom, but is taken out in return by Primarina. Now, with a bit of a scare as the Primarina lives on 1 HP, we end up defeating the double battle with our Jolteon.
Now, Giovanni's team has a huge Ice-type weakness. They're Powdon, Garganacl, Garchomp, and Torterra. All weak, if not quad weak to it. So, I'm really happy to inform you that I have 1 Ice-type Pokemon. And, truthfully, it kinda sucks.
Leading Chestnut and using Bulk Up, while Hippowdon sets a Stealth Rocks. Needlearm then has a high chance to KO, but it doesn't. Luckily, Kommo-o is sent out, allowing us to knock it out using Ice Punch. Kangaskhan is then sent out. The only way, even in planning, that I could find how to beat this thing was to sack Drifblim. Using Strength Sap, we whittle down its attack stat, but Drifblim goes down. Kommo-o is then sent out to set up an Iron Defense and Body Press for the kill. Now, that's if we weren't fully paralyzed. This then gives Giovanni the opportunity to switch to Garganacl, as we are fully paralyzed again, putting us in an extremely bad spot. Kommo-o is then Salt Cured and fully paralyzed again. Finally, attacking the next turn, we one-shot the Garganacl, but we're still in a bad spot. Excadrill is sent out, who luckily for us goes for an Earthquake as Chestnut is sent out. Hammerarm brings it down to Focus Sash, and Spiky Shield finishes it off. 3 mons to go. Garchomp is sent out and uses Scale Shot, as Chestnut bulks up. Using Spiky Shield, we can gain some more XP from the leftovers and kill the Garchomp in 2 hits. Next, the Torterra. Bulking up as they Shell Smash puts us on a level playing field. They go for another Shell Smash, allowing Chestnut to get the KO. With only the Kangaskhan left, we finish the battle off with only 1 loss. No breaks though, as we're heading straight into the 5th gym leader. Sabrina, also known as a huge run killer, mainly for the reason that it's a double battle, and that she uses the one and only Trick Room strat in the entire game.
Starting off with a combo of Indeedee and Hatterene to set up a pretty much impossible to stop Trick Room, then Brute Bonnet and Ursaluna in the back to sweep your entire team, then just in case they need a second Trick Room, they have Porygon 2 and Mega Gardevoir, or with those 2 they can just sweep your entire team.
Leading both Crobat and Drifblim, we KO the Hatterene in 1 turn, as the Indeedee goes for an Expanding Force. Crobat is then sacked for the damage on Indeedee. Walrein is sent out, using Blizzard to do major damage to the Ursaluna and allowing Dog to finish off the Indeedee. The next turn, Blizzard unfortunately misses the Ursaluna, causing the Walrein to die. The Ursaluna died in return to its burn. Sending out the Mewtwo, I do half damage to both Porygon 2 and the Mega Gardevoir, sacrificing the Drifblim in the process. Mewtwo knocks out the Porygon, but loses a lot of health in the process, forcing both the Brute Bonnet and Dog to be sent out. Chestnut then takes out the Brute Bonnet, then the Gardevoir, finishing the fight.
Total deaths now at 14.
Before reaching the next city, there are just a few mini-bosses. Starting on Route 12, we are introduced to the weather that never goes away mechanic, mainly buffing the opponent's team and making our day worse. Already from the back-to-back mini-bosses along Route 12, I've lost both the Simisear and Seviseb Striker. These mini-bosses don't hold back. Here's a list of the mandatory ones. And now here are all the fellas that died in the process of defeating these mini-bosses.
At this point, I was barely building teams. I pretty much just have our heavy hitters and everything else can just be fodder for them to set up. This won't bite me in the ass later, right? Oh, and I also caught a Bonsley.
In actual good news, I caught a Beldum in Fuchsia City, and can now teach our Pokemon setup moves, so finally Mewtwo can be broken. Now before facing the 6th gym, we've got to head back and rematch Brock, Misty and Surge, but all that does is give us a chance to show off our new tricks. Starting with Brock, Mewtwo sweeps after a nasty plot, leaving only the Arcanine for the Caracosta to finish it off. Then Misty, where Mewtwo takes out their Caledon and Kingdra, Chestnut takes out the Palafin and Gyarados, but unfortunately dies to the Gorbis, leaving only the Ferrothorn for the Metagross to finish off. Next, Bugsy.
For some reason I thought I needed to beat Bugsy, I really didn't, and Emolga and Caracosta both died in this battle, so... oh well, I get U-turn.
Anyway, we destroy Whitney and head to Surge. Kommo-o should be able to sweep, so leading Kommo-o we set up 2 Dragon Dances as Surge sets up Stealth Rocks. Getting faked out, then Ice Punch does 60% as Iron Hands goes down. The Iron Treads then comes in. Here, we are introduced to our run's greatest enemy, a Focus Sash. We would be able to outspeed and sweep the rest of the team, but this guy has a Focus Sash, and can kill us. So here I decide to switch and go for a Will-O-Wisp to cut its damage in half. But they switch into Rotom, which causes this fight to become a slugfest. First, Jellicent goes down. Mewtwo takes out the Pawmot and does 90% of the Iron Treads, who Volt switches into the Manectric. We switch into our Ground type, Bulldozing to reduce its speed, allowing for it to be taken out. Metagross is sent out, instantly getting burnt by the Scald, but thanks to a few flinches, Rotom is taken down. And finally, Sandslash is sacrificed, allowing Mewtwo to come in and finish off the Iron Treads, allowing us to finally take on the 6th gym, with our total death count at 30.
A whole PC box worth of dead Pokemon. Koga's team doesn't seem too bad to me. Once the Swallow and Iron Valiant are down, our Kommo-o can pretty much sweep. So, with that in mind, our best lead is probably the Metagross,
tanking a Choice Specs Boom Burst and returning with a critical hit KO, as Drapion is sent out. Kommo-o comes in as Drapion switches as well, dealing about 80% to the Excelgor, who switches out again into the Drapion, who switches out again into the Iron Valiant. We then take out the Iron Valiant, Drapion, and Mega Toxtricity, with the Metagross after sacking our Mr. Mime. Mega Beedrill takes out the Greninja, and Metagross finishes the fight with a Bullet Punch, meaning a slopless victory, if you don't count Mr. Mime. Proceeding on, we pick up a Quaxwell who then dies, as well as our Mega Beedrill. I'm really starting to realise I have a problem. Have a look at the mons we have left. Do you see an issue? Either way, we should be fine, as long as our main core of Mewtwo, Kommo-o, and Metagross are alive. Here's Seafoam Island, a necessary part of the game which you can optionally catch a legendary Articuno.
but the randomizer doesn't care for legendaries, so we'll probably just get something really shit.
Next, as we reach Cinnabar Island, I catch a feline prowess Licky as well as a Psyduck. Solo the rival battle with Kommo-o, complete the Pokemon Mansion puzzle, and begin planning for Blaine's gym. This gym is a bit different from the others. Blaine is almost the least of our issues. 3 unskippable mini-bosses on the level or even greater than most gym leaders, when taking into account the permanent drought. Starting with the first mini-boss, leading with a fake-out Life Orb Mienshao allows them to do major damage, no matter our lead, as we have no Pokemon that can get around fake-out. Salamence is our best lead. Licky is our best lead. Allowing us to take out the Rhyperior, Kommo-o then takes out the remaining Pokemon, leaving only the Sunflora for our Salamence. First mini-boss down. The second mini-boss starts with our main enemy, a Focus Sash, but it's on a mon that cannot hit Kommo-o, allowing us to set up and switch into our Licky. It dies. Mewtwo takes out the Tormentor as our Delphox dies, leaving Mewtwo and the Salamence to sweep the rest. But at what cost? These are the Pokemon we have left, and we have one more mini-boss before Blaine. Even though this last one is a double battle, it has an extreme lack of a Mewtwo answer, using the second slot of the double battle as a meat shield as Mewtwo sets up and sweeps the entire team, finishing with 0 deaths. It's sad that that's a rare thing in our case, but it's gotten us this far.
Finally, Blaine. Blaine's team, to put it simply, is fucked. Focus Sash Armor Runes with Mega Launcher Armor Cannon is gonna kill you no matter how resistant you are to it. Slitherwing gets a free attack boost whenever it switches in with its photosynthesis and then kills you with a first impression. Exeggutor, now an extremely fast sweeper, still not too bad unless you get it set up. Typhlosion, nothing else to say except for priority eruption in the sun. Ogerpon, a great Pokemon used in VGC, and don't forget the Mega Charizard. If we're gonna win this, we're gonna need a shit ton of planning, an extreme amount of luck, and a lot of fodder.
Starting with Salamence, we survive a hit from the Armarouge and kill it with a crunch. Next up, the Charizard. After sacking the Golduck, we send a Mewtwo, setting it up with a Carmine. After another Carmine and recover, we finish it off. The Exeggutor is sent out, for an unknown reason, and dies. Slitherwing is then sent out. Mewtwo cannot tank a first impression, sacking Double allows us to bring in the Salamence who finishes it off. Typhlosion is next. Taking out our Salamence, allowing Kommo-o to come in, Bulldoze, lowering its speed just in case, and close combat to finish it off. Ogerpon is now the last one. Using Bulldoze, we can slow it down and then use another close combat to finish the fight, with 3 losses. One being a very, very sad loss. A total of 38 losses so far, and our live box is looking scarce. It's really bad if you're resorting to using Spidops. With the 7th gym complete, we are now heading into the finale of the Team Rocket saga. Meeting Brendan outside the gym in Viridian City, where we magically teleport to Cerulean Cave, when Brendan is stopped by Ariana. We make haste past some grunts and then meet with Archer and Ariana. The fuck was Brendan even doing? Now we have to do back-to-back battles with no healing in between. First is Archer. Metagross demonstrates why he's a key member of the team by taking out the first 2, and Spidops takes out the Mimikyu's disguise and dies. Kommo-o then comes in and takes out the Mimikyu, and Houndoom. Now, Ariana. Leading Hatterene, our 8 HP Metagross somehow takes it out in one shot. Rhyperior comes in, Breloom steps up, puts it asleep, switching it out, Honchkrow gets a hit and paralyzed, allowing Breloom to finish the job. Then it dies to Mega Mawile. Vikavolt comes in, tanking a Play Rough and killing with a Thunderclap. It then gets lucky with some sleep rolls against the Rhyperior, killing it with Bug Buzz. Remembering that I haven't caught anything here, I get a Pignite, who's alright, better than whatever I have in my box right now. After trying to dig my way out because I was scared, I discovered a glitch. I didn't save. After watching back my recording, playing back every step the exact same way, kinda, I finally meet with Giovanni.
Just like our double battle back in Silphco, we have a partner, this time in Lance, that we have to fight alongside, meaning we can only bring 3 mons to this fight. Against Giovanni's Terrain Extender Tapu Lele in the Misty Terrain, fucking hell, Intimidate Scrafty, Focus Sash Excadrill, Assault Vest T-Tar, Intimidate Scrafty, Focus Sash Excadrill, Assault Vest Tyranitar, Meteor Beam Cristelia, and a hacked Mewtwo. I'm saying it's hacked because it has 2 lives, one being a Mega, and what the fuck is Soul Robbery?
Leading Metagross as a safe lead, we take out the Tapu Lele, Tyranitar, and Scrafty, with the help from Lance's Dragapult and Dialga. Our Mewtwo is sent out and hope to clean up, setting up a Carmine as Dialga takes out the Celesteela. We Will-O-Wisp the Excadrill, cause it's scary, and take it out the next turn as Dragapult finishes off the Mewtwo's first and second phases. A lot easier of a fight than I was expecting. 0 deaths.
From this, we finally receive the Megastone for our Mewtwo. We get a bit faster, a bit stronger, and gain the ability to Intimidate, which is really good, but we're not going to need it just yet.
This next and final gym, I'm going to show off a different fella, who I believe is even better than Mewtwo. Leading Kommo-o into the opposing Aerodactyl. They taunt, but the Mental Herb allows us to set up the Dragon Dance. The Aerodactyl is then taken out as it taunts again and sets up Stealth Rocks. But we don't plan to be switching. 1 Moxie boost. Dragonite comes in. Even with multiscale, it goes down to a single dual chop. 2 Moxie boosts. Roaring Moon comes in and gives us another Moxie boost. Same for Magearna, Gouging Fire, and Nagadel. Finishing the final gym with a single point of damage. Next up is the Indigo Plateau. After 2 rival fights where we show off the power of simple Mewtwo, we catch a Lileep, Citodle, and Riolu along Victory Road. Meaning from here on, we have no more encounters. That I know of. We pick up the Metagross site, beat a few mini-bosses, and defeat the dumbass creator at the end of Victory Road. Sadly, having to make a few sacrifices. I'm coming back like 6 months later from doing this run, and I just want to point out how actually stupid this fight is. The Gigalith comes in to set up Sandstream. It also has Smooth Rock to extend the Sandstream. Has Explosion, so it basically kills whatever comes in. Oh, actually, by the way, they are level 250 each, with 5 Shedinjas, all with Focus Sash. So it's like they I had to go find the TM for Protect, like Protect stall every single one of the Mons, and like sacrifice 3 of my Pokemon to these guys because there's like no other way to get around it. Okay, back to it.
We're at the end of the game now, and just like your goon buddies, it doesn't want you to finish.
With 5 insanely difficult fights, which are extremely hard to plan for as they all have multiple teams they can choose from, with battle-defining gimmicks, and at least 1 legendary and mega on their team. So the only way that we're going to be able to complete this challenge is by taking it one step at a time. Starting with our team going to the Elite Four. Head, the Victory Bell. An odd but necessary pick which will be crucial for Lorelei's Rain team, as its ability Storm Drain redirects all water type moves and gives us special attack boost. Salamence, the Salamence, which can act as a backup sweeper or defensive switch. The ability Bulletproof may come in handy against Bruno or Agatha, but when Mega Evolved, it gains the Electric Surge ability and can hit incredibly hard. Tech, the Titan, a great defensive switch with its insane HP stat. Technician Priority Ice Shard can deal major damage to the Abundant Dragon and Flying type Pokemon. Big L the Metagross, our main defensive wall. Unburden can be used to turn Metagross into a fast sweeper with its insanely high attack stat, while Mega Metagross with the ability Slush Rush will be our main Lorelei answer if they bring the Snow team. And finally, our 2 main sweepers. Simple, our Mewtwo, probably the luckiest starter we could have come across, and probably the reason we've made it this far. The ability Simple in combination with Calm Mind turns any opposing special attackers to mush, and when Mega Evolved, Intimidate lowers the opposing physical attack. I don't even think I could have thought up a more broken Pokemon. That's if we didn't have Momo the O. Clangorous Soul increases every stat by 1 stage, while Moxie gives an additional attack boost for every opposing Pokemon KO'd. Combine this with Drain Punch to heal, Dual Chop to get around Focus Sash and Multiscale, and you have the most powerful sweeper in the game. Our entire team will be built around supporting our 2 main sweepers, Mewtwo and O. Now with that out of the way, let's get into it. Lorelei, the first of the 5 battles, choosing between either a Rain or Snow team. This makes it probably the worst fight in terms of planning. So let's just see what the game has in store for us. It's Rain, switching in and out our Victory Bell, forcing the opposing team to lose half their turns, and give Victory Bell special attack boosts as Mewtwo sets up and sweeps, finishing this fight with 0 deaths. Next up is an extremely difficult one. 2 teams with extremely strong leads. Sweepers like Como-O, Urshifu, Zacian makes it pretty much impossible. Just kidding, Como-O sweeps after a total of 0 damage taken. What did I say when I caught this guy? And I'd never lie. Next up, Agatha. With mainly Ghost and Dark type, our Mewtwo sweep is pretty much impossible. And the Marshadow, Flutter Mane, Qianpao and Mega Gengar all outspeed the rest of my team. This will be very difficult. Leading the Mewtwo, we set up a Calm Mind as they taunt. Zoroark is taken out after dealing some damage in return. Flutter Mane then does a decent bit of damage with Shadow Ball as we KO with Psychic. Qianpao then comes out. Using a Mega to intimidate it, we survive the Ice Shot and KO in return with Flamethrower. Then the same for the Goldango. Marshadow does kill with Shadow Sneak, so we switch in Victory Bell as it puts it to sleep. It gets 2 Bulk Ups in return. Scared that it can now KO anything in our team, we're forced to let Victory Bell go down, clearing the path for Titan to finish the fight. 1 death and 2 fights to go. Now for the last Elite Four, Lance, rocking a full Dragon team, minus Melmetal. Como should be a good sweeper here, getting a single Clangorous Soul off before getting taunted by the Aerodactyl, finishing it off with a Dragon Tail, just in case they switched out. Next, Momo sweeps the Dragonite, Melmetal and Iron Jugulis, as the Primal Dialga somehow survives a +5 Como-O, forcing it to switch out into Salamence. Finishing the Dialga with a Dragon Claw, sacrificing the Salamence then allows us to switch into the Titan and take it down with the Ice Shard. A slopless battle, you could say. Onto our final battle. Our rival, Blue, now the champion, using the Focus Sash Ultra Beast Pheromosa, the Mega Pseudo-Legendary Metagross, 3 actual legendaries of Carmine Miraidon, Assault Vest Yveltal, Power Herb Meteor Beam Eternatus, and just in case you really wanted to set up and sweep, a Choice Scarf Ditto. With only the 4 Pokemon we have left, I really don't see many options. Sacking what 30 plus mons up to this point has finally come to bite me in the ass. But I do see one way in which we can win this fight. Using our one carry. Using the one Pokemon who has swept some of the hardest boss in this game. Momo. But we can't just lead our main girl. She'd be taken out by the Pheromosa, or just be copied by the Ditto. Meaning we have to find a way to remove or delay the Pheromosa and force the Ditto to copy one of our other mons. Cutting to it, our main tank, the safest lead we've been using for many fights, Metagross. I believe that we can win this fight with these two alone. So let's get into it. Leading the Metagross against the Pheromosa, we threaten a Zen Headbutt into a Bullet Punch KO, so they U-turn, straight out into the main threat Ditto, transforming into our very own Big L. They lock themselves into a move, Bullet Punch. It's Momo time. Switching into the Bullet Punch does nothing, sitting in front of it as we use the time to set up 2 Clangorous Souls, doubling all of our stats, using Protect and Leftovers, as well as Drain Punch to KO the Ditto, and leave us with half HP. And we've won. Drain Punch takes out the Metagross, Dual Chop takes out the Yveltal, Pheromosa, Miraidon, and finally, the Eternatus. A little too easy, don't you think?